Hey there, comic book fans. Merry Christmas. It's Christmas night here, and I figured I would show you some of the comic books and art supplies that I got from my family as Christmas presents. Let's start off with Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker. My heroes have always been junkies. They're always a must-buy with me. I usually put whatever comic they do on my pull list. What was strange about this was that it's a graphic novel. It was never in comic book, single issue form. So it was strange. It came out in October, but I ended up putting it on my Amazon list because I was just in no hurry to get this one. Because it's funny, when it's a graphic novel, I'm like, I can get it anytime. It'll always be there. When it's a comic book, it's got to go on my pull list, and I got to read it right away. But this is the story about a young woman who for some reason, idolized junkies. I think they said in the back her mother was a junkie. Idolized junkies since childhood, and it leads her down a bad path. So we'll have to see what that one's all about. Then we've got the Hypo. I guess that's short for hypodermic needle. The Melancholic Young Lincoln. And this is by Noah Van Sciver, who's an indie guy. I've never read any of his work, but I love historical fiction and historical comics, so I'll give this one a read. I think it's his older brother is Ethan Van Sciver, who is the DC Comics Green Lantern artist, among other things. So the older brother does superheroes, the younger brother does indies. So indies is my thing, so I'll give this a read. Then we've got the Eltingville Club by Evan Dorkin. And I think I read some of this in individual issue form, but it's, comic book, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role-playing. So it's about these 4 members of this club. He was doing little stories with it over the years, really dense stuff, too. Because I think they were usually just a few pages, but not always. What is this? A 3, a 7, an 8-page story, but you can see they're filled with density of them arguing and playing video games and stuff like that. Yeah, I think some of the stuff in the back is what I have individual issues of. But it's a lot of fun. It's these club members are really, they're really not the nicest, most sociable people. So don't. There's a nice angry-faced guy right there. So don't expect to like these guys. They're always angry and arguing over geek stuff. Looking like zombies there. So, but I always enjoyed these. So I'm glad I have the collection, and I look forward to reading it all. And then we've got Invincible. These are the last 2 Ultimate Collections hardcovers. I was for years collecting this in hardcover. Then at the very end, I switched over to individual issues to kind of just try it out monthly. But I knew I was going to get these last 2 hardcovers eventually. Good stuff. If you've never read Invincible, read it. It's all available in trade, digitally, in these nice hardcovers. But it's a great, great story. We'll just show you some paint. Look, beautifully drawn, beautifully printed. It's a superhero. Starts out as sort of a normal. He was a teenage kid superhero story. Goes off into space, there's lots of violence in this. So make sure you like violent stuff, because these superheroes really hurt each other at times. But last 2 volumes to put on my shelf that go with the first 10, and it's fun to have all of them. And here is just something I got. Brickheads and Iron Man. I'm not a collector of Legos or anything, but occasionally it's fun to get one and put them together. So there you go, a little Iron Man brickhead. It doesn't look like that Iron Man. It looks like that Iron Man. Oh, and also take a look at the back of this. There's little purple Thanos and Gamora and Star-Lord. So I guess these brick heads are a new Lego thing, sort of like, Lego Pops. And let's look at some art supplies. This is my collection of markers. I got, let's see, 2 of them are replacement markers I need because mine, that the caps wear out and they're no good anymore. And these are Dick Blick started making their own brand of markers. They're kind of the same as the Copics. So I'll give them a try. I think there's also refills for these too, so I'll have to give them a try because these are some refills I got. These are, let's see here. This is the ink for these markers. So when this runs dry, you just pop off the nib and you pour more ink in it. It makes the markers a lot more economical because one single marker like this is about $6 or $7, but this will fill it up 8 or 10 times. So, and this is $6 or $7. So this is, $6 or $7 for 8 or 10 markers. That's much better than just one marker. But got a bunch of color refills. I'll have these markers all ready to go. And let's see, the other thing. A new sketchbook. This is let me show you my old one. I always name them. This one is Sidelong 2018 and it's number 19. So I fill one of these a year of just these little ink sketches. So for 19 years, I filled one of these books. And these are all just kind of spontaneous drawings that I then, when I want to, make something bigger, like one of these drawings in the background here, I'll thumb through these books and look for an image that catches my eye. And then I'll take one of these drawings and blow it up into something big. Matter of fact, one of the other things I got was Bristol. This is 9x12 Bristol. Comic book Bristol is 11x17. But this I use for the smaller drawings. I usually take one of these drawings and let's say, ooh, I like that drawing over there, that drawing in the middle, that face. And I scan these in as a matter of course. And I blow it up. And I'll cut, a sheet of paper in half of this so it's 6x9. And I'll print one of these drawings out at 6x9. And do a little sketch on that. And after I'm done with the 6x9, I'll often blow that up to 9x12 and do a finished drawing there, and then take the 9x12 and blow it up to 10x15 and do it on the 11x17 sheet. Or sometimes I blow them up to this size. So that's where this paper comes. And it's funny, Bristol is a very thick paper. And it's pretty much all I draw on these days. Some people do their initial sketches and stuff on a cheaper, thinner paper, but I just don't draw well on that cheaper, thinner paper. I like some thickness and heft, and I like to draw kind of on the same quality paper all the time, even though I sometimes get even higher quality paper. But I don't like cheap drawing paper for whatever reason. I'm not that good with it, so I keep stocked of this. With this, and then I've got Pentel sign pens. These are the pens that I draw in these little books with. That right there is all done with the Pentel sign pen, and these are just cheapo markers. These have been around. I don't know if you recognize. These have been around since I was a kid. I remember we used to get them at like the local 5 and dime or the local drugstore, and they're just they're just a kind of hard-tipped marker that gives you a single line weight that I like for initial sketching. So I was out of those, so now I've got a new box of them. And let's see, anything else? One last thing I got, removable tape. This is just a low-tack tape that I was running out of. Let's see, where's my old one? Running out of this removable tape. Oh, this one's a little thinner, it looks like. That's 3/4 inch. I didn't see any inch. They're just 3/4 inch. I put these on my list of supplies. I think this is on my Dick Blick wish list. My family can pick stuff off it. And I use this for masking out a lot of stuff too. Like when you're drawing, let me show you right here. Like when I was drawing this Two-Fisted Tails one, and I don't want to get any of this black line or gray up in this white part, I just break off a piece of tape, put it down there, flatten it. It's removable tape too, so it won't hurt the paper. It comes off easily. But then I can just, go right over the tape, go right with the black and with the color, and pull it up at the end, and I'm good. So how to get some more removable tape for just such an occasion. All right, I think that's all the stuff I got. Except for maybe this. Oh, there we go. I got a new brush. And this one is just a synthetic brush I wanted to try. So I have a new brand, new synthetic. I want to try it. And a hex tool. This has nothing to do with art supplies or comic books, but it's a cool tool that you keep in your pocket in case you need a tool. So there you go. There's a nice collection of stuff I got, some comics, some art supplies. And you guys have a good week out there.